Hi, Art, son. Simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle. And of the golden age. And we heard President. And I'm sure we got people shaking in their boots. But anyway, my thumbnail was Barbarians in the Gate, not at the gate. I had a thumbnail about a year or so ago. Barbarians at the gate. Well, they're in, baby. I don't know if we got to head for the keep or if we can slow them down or what needs to be done. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And Trump alluded to California. You can't leave California. Fraud and abuse. Anyway, what do? While we're waiting for people to get in, I play a video so people can get settled in. And yes, I will say it is still eggnog season. If you want to have your eggnog, man, I bet some of you guys will waddle around. If you're drinking eggnogs every time I said, "Oh, have an eggnog," you probably put on a few pounds. But anyway, you could have a coffee or a cold bruja, whatever you want. So I give everybody time to settle in, and then we're gonna be like butter and get on a roll. Play the video. Let's see. Oh, it wants to play with me. Come on, Mike. There we are. No, that's my Mike, not a guy named Mike. Let's see. Shut off.
Corral into the and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play games? Okay. Come on.
You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
Vengeance the next time around.
Well, think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. If the deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. How is everyone tonight? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a safe and happy New Year's celebration. Let's see who's coming in to see me tonight. Let's see who we got. We got Darla, we got Sissy, we got Sherry, we got Miss Mindersue, Linda, Benjamin, Todd, Randy, Robin, Captain Truth. Pappy's here. How you doing, Pappy? Nice to see you. It's going to be a doozy. That's right. Rain's here. Nice to see you, Rain. Some folks were wondering where you were. Now you're with us. So you were with us last night, too. So everything's okay. That's good. Let's see what else is going on. Where'd my list go? Benjamin's here. Hi, Benjamin. Oh, this jumps around on me. There you go. Jet lag. Nice to see you. Let's see. And flannel cheese. I mean, Elva's here. All right. Let's see. Who else slipped in? MS Motorsports is here. Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Rubber Toe's here. Rebecca's here. All right. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Even after the live stream, it helps the video to get around. As little as they put me out. So anyway, here's another little meme for you to put on your meta page and get Gavin Gruesome, Newscomb, whatever the hell his name is. What is his real name? Did anybody ever find out? Like Jack Smith and who's that other one? One who used to be mayor of New York. The other commie. That wasn't even his real name. What was his? Who was that guy anyway? Commies, they come and go, you know. So anyway, oaths have been taken, and the one I was referring to is this nitwit, right here. This little nitwit. I'll play some videos of him. You know, what is it with people? Are they going to have it rubbed in their face that their property will be taken away from them, their rights I've got a video about tax bills going out in Minnesota. Oh my God. Everybody paying for the Somalis who come to the country for freedom. 13-year-old video of some 300-pound Somali mama waddling around with 5 kids to get her envelope to you at a daycare, leaving a daycare with a pocket full of money and all her kids. Everybody in the daycare goes back in there. What do they do? But anyway, how much stupidity is the American people going to put up with? And, I was putting in my, you was saying the left is sickening. I still say that, but I'll put in there now. I'll mix it up. The left is obnoxious, depending on what the story is about. They're sickening. They're obnoxious. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Who else slipped in? Mountain, how you doing? Graybeard, nice to see you. Cole's here. All right. We got everybody coming in. So anyway, we're going to listen to him take his oath. I'll play that in a minute. You take oath ain't for nothing, right? Not for nothing. So Trump's putting out a lot of stuff that getting people's attention. He put up this cover of this book, and along with a intro on his Truth Social. Lawless lawfare. That's exactly right. Lawfare is lawless. It's an intentional manipulation of the system that does not serve the interests of justice. Okay? There's many other ways to phrase it. I'm no genius, but that is an apt description. It's a fraudulent exercise. Okay? Lawfare is a fraudulent exercise. And we'll see how it plays out. Here's what Trump said about this book. Alex Sawyer has written a powerful book, Lawless Lawfare, tipping the scales of justice to get Trump and destroy MAGA. The unprecedented weaponization of justice by the Democrats against their political opponent, me, can never be forgotten or allowed to happen again. That's right. We got a radical left Democrats are capable of. And what we ever overcame through sheer grit, wisdom, and courage. Well, we got to get some more people on the grit, wisdom, and courage boat. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, yeah. Here's, all right, let's see you, nitwit. Where's a nitwit Zamdami? Here he is. Let's listen to his, I listened to it, but just cursory. And the volume, I don't know how the volume is on here. Let's see what he takes. What does he actually take an oath to? We know he took it on the Quran, right? Not the Bible, okay? Which this nation was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. And, okay, go ahead. Go ahead and do it on the Quran. But what did you take your oath to, buddy?
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of.
The duties of.
The office of.
The office of.
The Mayor of the City of New York.
The Mayor of the City of New York.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
I have to get a full copy of that. Okay? Because I didn't hear anything about the Constitution. I'm not saying he didn't, but look who's got there with him. Letitia James. Letitia James, she looks like a tree trunk standing next to him. Remember Popeye and Bluto? She looks like Bluto. He could crawl up in her coat like Popeye used to with Bluto and can't find him. You know, need a compass to get out of that raincoat she's wearing. I don't know. Part out. But, the Charter of New York and discharge his duties. So if he's a citizen, a naturalized citizen, he took an oath to the Constitution. He took one with Bernie today. Oh, boy, that's real good. Now, I got a clip I want to play that mentions Bernie. Trump mentions Bernie, but I'll get to that. And I'm in agreement with part of it. I've been hard talking about Bernie, but and he deserves it. But you got to admire him for his. He does have some grit, but these commies are arrogant as hell. Here, you want to see an arrogant commie right here? This is one. Oh, I can't wait. I would like to be. Come on now, studio. I wish I could be out there on the street when he comes walking out of some hearing. Jack Smith, there he is, creepy Jack Smith. This isn't a full deposition, but this is him. You all think, is he digging his own hole? All right, as in Grave. Oh boy, I don't know about that. He should definitely sit in jail for everyone to look at. Okay. I don't necessarily think that this little vulture-looking thing should necessarily have the fate of what I believe Fauci. Look at there in the top corner. Midas Trash. This is a clip from Midas Trash. There it is down there in the right-hand corner. Okay, they play this stuff for their rabid audience because Jack Smith he deserves so much more respect than Donald Trump, who's gotten 75, 80 million votes, ran 3 times, won 3 times, been shot at, and has run in Europe now, you might as well say, and opening up the possibility for the world to be at peace and have more prosperity ever in the history of human civilization. Oh, but Jack Smith is somebody we should all fall at the feet of. But I think he's digging his own damn hole.
As I sit here right now, I can't remember specific conversations. I do remember that we knew that a sort of First Amendment defense would be part of the case. And I think when I mentioned to you earlier about how to frame the case, we wanted to make clear that this was not about trying to interfere with anyone's First Amendment rights, that this was a fraud. And as you know, under Supreme Court precedent, fraud is not protected by the First Amendment. And so in my mind, it was important to why when we litigated this issue before the district court, we prevailed.
But the president's statements that he believed the election was rife with fraud, those certainly are statements that are protected by the First Amendment, correct?
Absolutely not if they are made to target a lawful government function and they are made with knowing falsity. No, they're not. That was my point about fraud not being protected by the First Amendment.
See how confidently he said that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because President Trump was trying to defraud the American people, and you don't have First Amendment rights when you're committing fraud yourself. That wasn't his exact words, but that was his intention of his statement. And then what are you, blind? Deaf? Dumb? Play dumb? You're not dumb. You're evil, okay? You're evil smart. Evil smart people play dumb. You don't know that the busted pipe was a damn artifice about the boxes getting pulled out under the table and the video shown to everybody in the flipping world? What's being exposed now with illegal voters? And you're going to sit here and act like Trump was lying about rank and open criminality and fraud in the election system? Oh, let's see. You were involved in that Mar-a-Lago raid, weren't you? Were you involved in where they were told they could be armed and use their weapons if necessary in Donald Trump's house? I don't know. Let's keep listening to his babble. But see, the Midas trash people don't have somebody like me to slap them in the face with reality. The reality is that the election fraud is rank and open and obvious. And now we're going over it and showing it again. And then some dump truck loads of stinking, rotten fraud being dumped out before the world. And you're going to sit there and act like you had a righteous position?
Of disputed elections. I mean, the election of 1800, 1960, year 2000, where candidates believe they were wronged by because they lost. And there's a long history of candidates speaking out about they believe there's been fraud. Problems with the integrity of the election process. And I think you would agree that those types of statements are sort of at the core of the First Amendment rights of a presidential candidate.
There is no historical analog for what President Trump did in this case. As we said in the indictment, he was free to say that he thought he won the election. He was even free to say falsely that he won the election. But what he was not free to do was violate federal law and use knowingly false statements about election fraud to target a lawful government function. Mm-hmm. That he was not allowed to do. And that differentiates this case from any past history.
What the hell did he just say? He doesn't even know what, he's just babble. It's just babble. If you play that again and listen to it, he's just babbling. And let me tell you, this is kind of like a deposition. I guarantee you, he got the courtesy of knowing what most of the questions were going to be. And then you had creepos and fraudsters and criminals like Andrew Weissman, Sweaty Man, and that other character that works for all these big law firms. They call him one of the best legal minds. Elias, is that his name? Crafting out these responses. And he sits there sipping his water and in my opinion, putting out a practiced response. Oh, I'm going to love it when you go to jail, buddy. I would like to be sitting out on the street when you came out. I would call you everything in the book. And enjoy every minute of it. Here's Trump, one of Trump's New Year's resolutions. A little hard to hear. But he says, we're going to get to the bottom of the blue state stuff. Did you all see him auction off a picture of Jesus that woman painted? I could have got the whole 6-minute clip, but I didn't get it. $2,750,000, I think it went for. But anyway, half of it St. Jude. Okay. Here we go. Here's Trump talking about the blue states. He's walking softly, but he's carrying a big stick. You better believe that.
Take back our country. Can you imagine? They stole $18 billion. That's just what we're learning about. That's peanuts. In California is worse. Illinois is worse. And sadly, New York is worse. A lot of other places. So we're going to get to the bottom of all of it. It was a giant scam. Other than that, we're going to have a great New Year. Actually, I view that as a reason for a good New Year because we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to get that money back. It's all coming back. So I want to to just do something.
Oh, we're going to get that money back. He mentioned Illinois, too. Hey, Pritzker. Baby back Pritzker. That's the thing. I mean, Trump is relaxed. He's at the microphone, ringing in the new year, and every word he says, they're watching everything he puts on True Social. You can believe that. I don't know why my screen won't cooperate with me. Y'all understand now. I'm getting a little delay from my screen cooperating. I hope my voice is coming through clear. Robin said, hiya, Kim. Kim is here. Yeah, there she is. All right. Nice to see you, Kim. Iliad. Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. Enjoy yourself. Make some friends. And please, for new people, watch your comments in the chats because they watch them. You know, they watch them. Oh, good. I got 5x5s. Good. Let me see if I can get my studio cleared for the next thing I'm going to put up. There we go. There we go. I think I'm going to leave that picture of the book. Yeah, there it is. A picture of the book. I'm going to leave that up for a while. Anyway, so we've had a couple of resolutions that they say Trump made. Let's see. Newsmax put this up. Said Trump resolution. Get to the bottom of blue state fraud. Look at Tim Walsh up there. Oh, he looks so unhappy. But we also have Fox News saying President Trump's New Year's resolution, peace. Peace on earth. What did they always say? What did Obama always say? Well, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can do more than one thing at the same time. And he also said, they're all calling Trump wants to be a dictator. They forget when Obama was saying, I have a pen and I have a phone. Well, how's your pen and phone working now, Barack? Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? But anyway, those are two nice resolutions. And I'm sure, like I say, we can do more than one thing at one time. Here's Kamidami. Kamidami, what's he saying here? He threatens landlords. Look at it. Look at there's a supporter there. Doesn't she look like a happy soul? A good mother down there in the bottom left. And then behind him, Mom dummy, America been very good to me. Thank you. Now I will tell you all how to run your country. I'm from a country that is a poop hole. We walk around on dirt streets with bare feet and rags wrapped around our heads. And now, but you are evil capitalists. We will tell you how to make your country better. Oh, boy. I want to see which oath he took. But anyway, so let's see how these dopey New Yorkers handle this when they come and pick your pocket with a smile on their face. They're going to, you let us help you or we will KILL you. That's how the Marxists play the game.
We will not compromise on housing quality. If your landlord does not responsibly steward your home, city government will step in. We will make sure that 311 violations are resolved, and we will hold slumlords to account for hazardous and dangerous threats to your well-being.
Yeah. Distant landlords. I was a landlord for 30 years. Many of you who have been with me for a while rising in our town with some mealy-mouthed liberal code enforcement character wanting to change the laws and allow for administrative warrants and do all this stuff. If a landlord was a bad landlord, well, I straightened that out. Me and a couple others straightened it out too. And you got to stand your ground with these freaks. But but they have a national agenda that they pass around. I might get to sit around with a representative of HUD or somebody, maybe somebody that knows had directly talked to Trump, and how they did it in the early 2000s, how they did it. But anyway, so they're going to attack the landlords, but then they say you can't raise the rent, but they're going to demand better standards. They're going to blame the landlord. There's roaches in here. Well, there's a pizza crust underneath the couch cushion that's been there for a month. I didn't put the pizza crust there. Take a look at that thing standing behind you with the eyes closed. They bought it with a snap card. And half of it ends up under the couch and under the cushions for the roaches to eat and spread to other units. No, they have no obligations, no responsibilities. They just want, need, demand. Want, need, demand. What's your job? I want, I need, and I demand. And I expect. I wake up every morning expecting what I demand. Boy, isn't that a way to go through life? So anyway, he feeds right into it. Commies feed into other people's insecurities, jealousies, and they attack the vulnerable minority, which is people that get up in the morning and want to make something of themselves, versus those who wake up in the morning and demand of others. So anyway, oh, look here. Here is someone come to this country and they're great. Thank you, America. No, they're not. They're not grateful. It's a Somalian. And she's going to talk about Elon Musk. You got to catch it. It's quick. And they mix it up with their own language and babble. But her message at the end is clear. And if not, I'll repeat it.
When people say like this is fake, I'm like, actually, well, let's look at.
كان محو هايستا العق بس هايستا بدو فول حمية مسكو فول حمية كان وعدق ودم الربع I wouldn't worry too much about this one that الباب يسجو I wouldn't worry too much about him. He about to die.
He about to die. I wouldn't wait. Isn't it great? You can come from some poop hole country with flies crawling all over your mouth and your face, and come over here and get a free phone, free everything, fart around making videos about Elon Musk losing his life. Only in America. Somebody put this up. Here. This creep. People break in. They break into my daycare center and they take very important papers. That person make the video about me and cause all this pain and suffering for the community. They said, well, isn't that some nice glasses he's wearing? I didn't even think about it. I go to Dollar Tree to get my glasses, okay? I didn't even think about it. And you know what? Fancy glasses or Dollar Tree glasses, they look the same on this guy. He would look like a retarded Steve Urkel. I mean, no matter how you slice it. But no, he's got to have these glasses. What's the story on these glasses? Oh, and the worried face. Look back there with the blonde hair on the right. Oh, the guilt. She's on stolen land and defending this individual. Let's see his glasses. Let's see, what is this all about? Chrome Hearts unisex eyeglasses. Typically $2,200. You can get them on Shengli Road Market. Vagliante BK. What the hell? They're in stock. 2,400. Track the price. So, are you all happy? Little blonde-haired lady back there. I hope your cats, all your cats, get worms. And I hate to say that because I like my cat. I hope you run out of boxed wine in the middle of the night. Okay? And I hope you run out of your nerve pills. All right? But anyway, when are people going to wake up? I tell you when they might wake up. Let's see. Where's that video? Where's the video about, is this it? Let's see. Let's see if this is it. The new year brings more bad news for Minnesotans. The Citizens Free Press. Property taxes are set to jump by $1 billion to cover the mess Tim Walz created. He blew through a $19 billion surplus. $19 billion. When I was coming up, I remember when Chrysler Corporation wanted to borrow through the Carter administration something like $50 million, and the American people were like, the government shouldn't loan auto companies. Now we're talking about $19 billion for one flippin' stupid ass city. He blew through $19 billion surplus, raised taxes $9 billion, hiked spending 40%, and let $9 billion plus get stolen in fraud. Unbelievable. But you know what? What do? If you see it, you know it's happening. You're on the hamster wheel, working your rear end off, but they got all the time in the world to steal your vote and never let your voice be heard. They will clean your clock. They'll pick your pocket. They'll eat your lunch and pop the bag in your face. They will eat your lunch and pop the bag in your face. That's what I used to say about Obama. And damn if he didn't do it, and he's still doing it. Let me play this video.
Envelope. I did not open mine. I didn't want to see it. Preliminary notices so far, but these new numbers just released by the Minnesota Department of Revenue show property taxes around the state could increase by a total of almost 7% compared to this year. The state says cities, counties, schools, other taxing districts are all taxing at a higher rate than last year, as we have been reporting on for weeks now. Local governments have until December 29th to set their final levies. The finalized property tax statements will be released early.
Can you imagine? They had a thing up there, the schools raise your taxes. The schools, they just figure it out and send you a bill? How would you love to have a bunch of psycho flipped out liberals deciding how much to pay you or how much you have to pay in taxes? What's this? Bondi teases 2026 Obama-Biden lawfare reckoning. Yeah, she did that right after or just before Trump said what he said. I don't know. We shall see. Don't be too rough on people like Pam Bondi. This is a once in a quarter millennium, and the timing has got to be right. We can't alienate people. We got to draw in as many as possible. I've been over it 100 times. But anyway, CBS has got a new. I never heard of them. Citizen Free Press again. Today is first day for new CBS evening news reporter. Have you all ever heard of this guy before? Tony Dokupil? What is that? And I'm not making fun. I mean, what nationality is that name? Dokupil. That the accent would seem like it was maybe Slavic. I don't know. where his parents may have or grandparents may have hailed from. But anyway, here's a clip. I'll just call him Tony, okay? Kind of like Prince Andrew. We call him Andrew now. But anyway, here he is. Very interesting what he says. And CBS is tied in with Paramount, is it not? And CBS lost a big lawsuit to Donald Trump, and they're walking a fine line about getting some more lawsuits against them. And Paramount is trying to buy Netflix. I mean, buy Warner Brothers and cut Netflix out of the mix. We could talk about Netflix. That's Obama, Barack and Michelle, those two guys, and Valerie Jarrett, and what's that one's name? Susan Rice, yeah. Anyway, listen to what he says. It's interesting. It's an admission, I will say that. But will he do what he says?
On too many stories, the press has missed the story because we've taken into account the perspective of advocates and not the average American. Or we leads and not enough on you. And I know this because at certain points, I have been you. I have felt this way too. I felt like what I was seeing and hearing on the news didn't reflect what I was seeing and hearing in my own life, and that the most urgent questions simply weren't being asked. So here's my promise to you, today and every time you see me in this chair. You come first, not advertisers, not politicians. Yes, that does include the corporate owners of CBS. I report for you.
Well, we'll see about that. Okay, buddy? We'll see about that. Because, like you said, what you hear on the news isn't what you've been seeing. In other words, people have been hoodwinking our friends and neighbors. And you say you're going to do better? I've seen the chats. A lot of people say El Greque, a little Greek in there. Some people say Czechoslovakian. I can't argue with either one. I didn't think of the Greek connection, but, very, very possible. It does sound rather El Greque. Here's Trump again. Let's see. Did I play this one? No, I didn't play this one. Let's see. I won't play it, and then we'll go from there. I'm not sure what he talked about. He talks about so many different things.
Well, he kept asking for a little money for cocaine, and I kept saying no. Drugs are bad for people, especially for small little midgets like him. This little guy does a little coke, and all of a sudden he thinks he's winning the war. So anyway, I told him he's not getting any more money for cocaine. He's not happy about it, but he's a midget. They're all unhappy, I guess.
Ha, ha, ha. That is off a Russian site, okay? They are playing around with AI. And don't forget that they call Zelensky the cocaine Führer over there. So they did their own little stunt with AI. He's so little and helpless and weak. I told him no more. He can't have any more. He thinks he can win the war because he's taking that stuff. I don't know if I get in trouble for play. I was going to play it twice, but I don't want to get in too much trouble. So anyway, you guys can rewind and play it again if you want to. That'd be good. Speaking of, oh no, that chick was Brazilian. Anyway, that was funny. Hi, Devin. How you doing? Captain. Oh, I already said hi to Captain Truth. Felix is here. Everything is fake. Yeah, it's AI generated. funny. I mean, the Ruskies didn't put out too much news, but they put out some. Where is their posts? Oh, here's that dopey. Let me get finished with Zoran Dakami. Does that sound right? Zoran Dakami. And let's see what kind of game he's going to play. You know, he can't step outside the bounds of the Constitution so much. But of course, you know what's going on in New York has been, in my mind, a violation of basic constitutional rights and property rights for decades and decades. Okay? In the Constitution, you have the right to contract with people. And I remember one council meeting we had, I told them, I said, I've had people come to me that have 2 dimes to rub together to make a spark and needed a roof over their head for their kids. And I gave them 4 buckets of paint and told them, you go in there and paint that apartment, okay? And I'll come in and check it when you're done. And that'll count as your deposit. And you can move in because you have children and know where to go. 3 weeks later, nothing's been painted. Okay? Takes them 6 months to do it with you cracking the whip. And you guys want to come in and inspect? Well, you give them a place to live then, okay? I didn't raise that type of person in society, but they're out there. It's not the kid's fault. But I have the right to contract with somebody. And I have the right to treat those people how within the law. If I want to give them grace, okay, you didn't paint it within the 3 weeks. Now we're 6 months. I'm telling you now, do it. I'll decide, okay? Not some weenie with a clipboard. That's one thing that I said. But anyway, this is Zoran Mamdani. He's going to save the world. He's going to have the biggest city in America. He knows what's best for everybody.
Long these communities have existed as distinct from one another. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. If our campaign demonstrated that the people of New York yearn for solidarity, then let this government foster it. Because no matter what you eat, how you pray, or where you come from, the words that most define us are the 2 we all share: New Yorkers.
Look at those idiots. No matter what you eat. Oh, you mean sacrificing animals in your basement and in your backyard? Or hanging them up by the hooves from a tree and lopping their heads off next to your neighbor's house? No, or facing Mecca and pray. No, I don't want to be around people like that, okay? But you're going to make it all work. You're going to replace rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. Sounds like you want a big hippie hole with everybody laying together and farting around, nothing getting done. And whoever's trying to get something done, you throw stones at. Here's who was singing at his inauguration, and I put in the comments. I'm not going to play it because I get a copyright strike. I got one. I got my video restricted last night. Remember when I played that video last night and I interrupted it? I cut the sound off after a few bars, and they still restricted my video. And that's why it stopped at how many views it had. And then you have to take it out for editing and a couple hours, and then it gets taken out of the flow. And when it gets put back up, it starts over from 0. So anyway, this was the person singing at Mamdani's inauguration, and I said, that ain't Frank Sinatra. That's no Frank Sinatra. And also, I seen more people at a flea market, okay? They make it seem like there's this huge crowd there. There wasn't hardly anybody there. just a bunch of sycophants and government teat hangers honors, okay, that want to keep their cushy job in the government. I didn't see a lot of people there. Pink hat. This is a guy. Well, so anyway, back to the Ruski news. Let's see. What's going on here? The Americans write that the CIA, despite the ban, quietly continued to support Kiev in the war, Ukraine. The CIA was allowed to continue exchanging intelligence data. Among the targets were oil refinery factories and tankers of Russia's shadow fleet. Wait a minute. Did Trump know about that? Or are these people embedded that are trying to wait out the Trump term? Are they people that know about people like Thomas Crooks? That other freak that was laying out at the golf course? You never know. But it's being put out there that they were doing operations. Was that with Trump's approval? Emmanuel Macron announced in his New Year's address that he would not run for re-election. He added that he would remain in office until the end of his term, which expires in 2027. Now here we have the Ruskies having a little more fun. The husband did not allow it. Talking about Brigitte Macron. Now, when in 2020? I mean, you're over a year ahead of time. Who cares? But I guess it'll give somebody else time to step up. But anyway, is that a harbinger of things to come? We were told, watch for resignations, right? Hi, Kurt. How you doing? Well, I play copyright music and sometimes, and I try to muffle it sometimes. But, you know, that's what the computers do. I mean, they protect people's copyrights. And a lot of them I could win on an argument. But, you know, it's just too many emails and back and forth. But anyway, here's a guy smoking a cigarette laying down. Who is this guy? He ain't smoking no cigarettes anymore. In Ukraine, a citizen of Australia, Russell Allen Wilson, who fought as part of the armed forces of Ukraine, was eliminated by Russian troops. This is already the 8th Australian who has been killed by Russian soldiers. Another one surrendered as a prisoner of war. You know, by all rights, they're mercenaries, they're unlawful combatants. So far, Russia has not been brutal with mercenaries that surrender. They don't have to take them prisoner. I'm telling you, in the laws of war. And I said before, isn't it a hell of a way to write the last chapter of your life? Being over in that no man's land, and all of a sudden the lights go out and it's over. There ain't enough money for a safe. 24 people died as a result of a Ukrainian drone strike on a cafe in the Kherson region on New Year's Eve. 3 drones struck a cafe and a hotel on the Black Sea coast in the Kherson region, killing 24 people. And more than 50 were injured, authorities reported. A Ukrainian drone. How come the news doesn't report this? Greece or Czechoslovakia, whatever. Is Tony going to report on this stuff? Hey, Tony, got a story here. What's particularly cynical is that the strike was carried out after a reconnaissance drone had been deployed almost at the stroke of midnight. Due to the massive fire, it was not possible to save more people. The fire was extinguished only in the early morning hours. So, You got a New Year's memory there that is going to be hard for people to forget. It is only going to exacerbate tensions and delay a peace agreement. The American press is criticizing Trump. All the stuff that's going on. Think about it, folks. This massive flipping fraud going on. The bold-faced lies. And this is what they come up with. Claiming that before the election, he promised 83 times to end the war Ukraine within 24 hours. Well, it was a different scenario then. You're talking over a 2-year-old period, going back 2 years, over a year-long campaign, and things on the ground didn't change. Things weren't made more difficult by the Marxists in control of the Biden administration. And this is what you're worried about when our nation's economic security is in peril? And we have got open and notorious criminals sitting in seats of power. You're talking about Trump 83 times? Where's that one report? Wait a minute. I don't know if I should play that video, but I'll get in trouble for it. Let me go to this. Oklahoma City. ICE rolls in, quote, the beast from how do you say that? Sicario? And it appears an entire family is detained in one massive raid. Multiple American jobs instantly created. Countries safer overnight. Perfect way to end 2025. Agents, you are absolute legends. I think that was probably APC, armored personnel carrier, just roll in there and roll them up. But Nick Sortor had something on this. This guy, he had people come in and break into his daycare center and scaring the children because of one video by one person who is a troublemaker. Stole all of our records. Now we have no records of who we gave our money to. Where they were showing a hole in the wall. I played this video last night. You see this woman in a hijab pulling insulation out of the wall. Watched my video last night. Who falsely claimed someone broke in and stole their student enrollment documents are now showing off where the burglar, quote, entered. Unfortunately for them, though, the cuts in the sheetrock seem to have been made from the inside. What did I say last night about obstruction of justice? Giving false information to a police officer? You get convicted of crimes after your naturalization. You can be stripped of your citizenship and sent to hell back. Okay? Not just that. There's a lot of other reasons we can do mass denaturalization, and we have to do it. We have to do it. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? We have to do it, folks. You know, and now here, speaking of... I'm going to put this quote up from Ayn Rand. And I've said it before, but she says it in a better way. Fascism, Nazism, communism, and socialism are only superficial variations of the same monstrous theme. Collectivism, just like Zoran Mamdani wants. That's by Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged and many other works. The warmth of collectivism. What did Archie Bunker say? I've said it a million times. Communes are for communists. But anyway, when are people going to figure it out? Here is a dopey German lady, a white liberal. She she's blonde hair. She got her pink coat on. She stands out like a sore thumb. She thinks migrants are wonderful people. She decides to show the German people we can celebrate New Year's with migrants. The collective world, right? Well, they throw rocks at her, dopey AW.
Au! Fuck! Au! Ah, ich habe... Au! Ich glaube, wenn ich so 2 Meter Türsteher Schrank wäre, hätten die das nicht gemacht. Ah, schon wieder, Alter! Wichser!
They cut the video off, and they're hot on her tail, too. She probably got some more rocks thrown at her. But yeah, you have a good time, you dopey liberal. But you're not going to put us in a position where we get hurt because of your... Okay? You can get away with that crap over there in Europe, and you'll find out in the end. Here, somebody raising their dopey head. Christina Guayao put this out. Say what? Al Gore, our Constitution is written by our founders. It is intended to protect us against a threat identical to Donald Trump. Al Gore, who made his media company selling boogeyman climate change crapola to federally funded school systems, made millions of dollars, and then sold his media company to who? Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera. Boogeyman Al Gore. His wife, she was a nice lady. Tipper Gore, she was warning a long time ago about a media that children had access to, and we're seeing it every day. We got kids 10 years old, 11 years old, using filthy language and knowing all kinds of terms that are disgusting, being involved in lewd and lascivious notions by these lunatic teachers. Tipper Gore. And they let her run around with her message, but they never promoted her. And what happens? Al Gore messes around with a male masseuse. Okay? So he's just another degenerate liberal. And Tipper, he did you a favor, okay? Getting out of your life. Remember this thing? I played a video of her. Michelle Wu. Michelle Whoop-de-doo. What's she up to? Let me see. Christina Guaya again. Puts it all out there where it's easy to understand. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu invited 7 white city council members from her holiday gathering. Disinvited. Uninvited. From her holiday gathering after accidentally inviting them to the Electeds of Color Christmas party. Oh, it's only for people of color. No whiteys allowed. The liberal mayor of Boston is back in the spotlight for Christmas for her anti-white shenanigans in 2023 when her aide, Denise Dos Santos, accidentally emailed invitations to all 13 Boston City Council members for the exclusive anti-white event, only for minority city council members. A follow-up message counselors, and there's their names, Frank, Michelle, Ed, Aaron, Gabriella, John, and Brian. You don't see any Shaquilas or whatever names they make, who identify as black, but was initially miscategorized, that the party was only for minorities, no whites allowed. There they are, sitting at the table. No whiteys. We don't have whiteys. And it goes on to say, fast forward to 2025, and Mayor Wu appears to be taking part in the same anti-white practices. That's criminal. That's a federal violation. HUD recently launched an investigation into Boston's housing policies for reverse discrimination against white residents. Wu is being accused of favoring Black, Indigenous, and other people of color in housing assistance programs. The letter sent this month explicitly referenced the 2023 holiday party as evidence of Wu's morally repugnant approach to race. How about illegal? Okay? Saying whites not allowed event exemplifies a pattern of anti-white discriminatory behavior. Hey, Tony, with CBS, Tony, we got a story for you here. You got to cover it, Tony? The HUD investigation into Wu's policies highlights ongoing lawsuits around affirmative action like the 2023 Supreme Court ruling. They're targeting no. People of color. There they are. They're having a nice dinner. Don't got to worry about any whiteys. Nobody named Fred or Archie or Joe. Here we are, stolen land. Here we go. We live on stolen land. Look how righteous and smart they think they are. Don't you believe in open borders? They can't stand it. They're psycho. This is typical. Like what I put on last night. I'll put this on the screen so you can put it on your meta page. Get a screenshot of it. Remember the animal sacrifice was up for a vote? And they had a purple hair or pink haired liberal? Oh, don't do that to animals. There are these white liberal crazy women and men too, but more of the crazy white liberals. Most of them are women. They don't want anything bad to happen to animals. Save the one-eyed guppy fish and starve out thousands of farmers of water. Now, and then bring in the everybody from around the world. And when everybody from around the world wants to chop up the one-eyed guppy fish, what are you going to do? You invite them in, you ask for it. Not just the one-eyed guppy fish, but anything else they can get their hands on. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Ducks in the river, in the pond. I had one video of a woman who caught a swan. I believe it was New York. Her and her husband. And they were from overseas. They were from another country. And they were taking it, they were going to pluck it and eat it. What are you going to do about it, liberal? Nothing. Oh, here's a church. Where is this church located? Did you all hear about the Danish? I believe it's Danish church. New Year's Eve. What does this remind you of, folks? Does it remind you of anything? You think this is a coincidence? Some ancient church over in Europe getting burned to the ground? Yeah, they must have some really good fire marshals around the mosques. You never see that happening to a mosque. Unless, of course, they make a certain little country angry at them, then you see stuff like that. But I won't get into that. But anyway, who did miss that? Was the same thing as Notre Dame. There you go. Rain put it up there. Todd put it up there. Yeah, Notre Dame. Yeah, you see a lot of ancient churches getting burned to the ground. Let me see. I tell you what, folks. I have said, how many times have I said precious time? Now stick with me, folks. This is important. We're in a time that is, I feel, truly biblical. And we are truly honored to be witnessing what's happening. We're seeing a collective spirituality and a great awakening. Is anyone in the chats disagree with that? There hasn't been a spiritual stirring and movement towards the light in 1,000 years as what we're seeing right now worldwide. And I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. Don't I always say that? I might miss it once in a while, but because we never know how much of this honor we're going to see. And I'm going to play you this video.
I will give you
Scott Adams. And he's a good man. He's a good man, and he's put up a good fight. I don't know what his beliefs are, but my memory tells me he's agnostic. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think he's been a good man to his neighbors. I think he's been courageous in making his points. And he's got news that you all will want to hear. And he's going down a road we're all going down. We're all going down. And we'll talk about it after you hear his message to everyone today. And it is precious, precious time.
I will give you a little bit of a heads up. I talked to my radiologist yesterday. He was working on the day before New Year's. And it's all bad news. 0. So I'll give you any updates if that changes, but it won't. So there's no chance I'll get my feeling back in my legs. And I've got some ongoing heart failure, which is making it difficult to breathe sometimes during the day. But at the moment, I can breathe, and I'm not in any pain. However, you should prepare yourself that January will be probably a month of transition, one way or the other. Now, I haven't made any decisions, but it was all bad news. No good news at all. So I will keep doing this as long as it makes sense, because I like doing it. Keeps me busy. You know, what's weird is that I have much bigger problems than the stuff I'm talking about in the news. But I'm so interested in like what's happening in the world that it's very engaging, totally engaging. So after the show, I will continue doing a Robots Read News comic, which I do every day. I try to. And I'll try to make some new comics, Dilbert comics. And I'll just act like nothing's happening. I'll just pretend I have no problems, which is weirder. It's easier than you think. Then I'll take some painkillers if I need them. There's no real limit to what I can take at this point. And I'll probably smoke massive amounts of marijuana because it puts me into a stupor that actually feels kind of good. In my current situation, if I do a full day's work, which I plan to do, I allow myself to enter the stupor zone. I mean, yesterday, for example, I was, doing work and watching the Warriors game, high as a kite. It wasn't bad. The only thing that's really bugging me at the moment is the inability to breathe if I get one of these coughing attacks, and that could last hours. It could last 8 to 12 hours. So it's 8 to 12 hours of hell, but it's not always hell. So, but things are changing fast. So I thought I'd give you a little update on that. Has anybody gotten an update on Victor Davis Hanson? Because I know he had some major surgery, but we don't know what that was about. I hope he's doing better than I am. Yep, and I do appreciate all of your thoughts. I will probably write down some closing thoughts today, just so I have them. Just so you can see what I was thinking in my final glide path. He's recovering? Good. Good for him. Well, I will tell you that my interest and my empathy for all of you and for Americans in general is very high. So to my final breath, if there's anything I can do to make things better for you, I will definitely do it. All right, we're past the entertaining part of the show. And I don't want to get your year off to a bad start. But there will be more to come. All right, people, I'm going to say hi to the locals, beloved people privately. The rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow, I think.
So if you can, pop in and give him a good word. But did you hear at the end? His empathy and interest for his nation and for Americans is still peaked at the peak. And he's going to do whatever he can. He's trying to stay alert and attentive to this amazing time, even though his life is ebbing away. 6 months ago, there were no problems. He didn't have his cheekbones showing. He's where he can't walk. He even got the President of the United States, the head of Health and Human Services, Bobby Kennedy, Dr. Oz, everybody helping him as much as they can. And I'm sure they'll continue. But things are bleak. But he still is working to get out the message. And I don't want to judge Scott Adams. I mentioned him in a past broadcast, probably about 6 months ago. I mentioned him a number of times. And I would hope that he takes the time to find Christ. And let's pray for that. Because many people have been in a dark hour. A very, very dark hour in life. And they don't have to look for him. And if I could reach Scott, I would tell him, no one's asking you to look for Christ. You're a smart man. And you know that Christ is real. You know he walked this earth. He's not a story. He's not a figment of imagination. He's real. And he's with you all the time. You don't have to look to find him. All you got to do is reach out. Scott. And I would hope that you do that. In your peace of mind, in your reflections, if you calm your mind, open your heart, and just reach out, I know he'll be there. He'll be there for you. And that's what I hope for you, Scott. And I appreciate that you are interested in your fellow Americans. You're interested in our nation. The fans who watch you. People you've never met. I feel the same way about you, my friend. Just reach out. And you'll find Christ. Because he's right there with you. He always is. So anyway, let's all hope that he gets that word one way or the other. Even if it comes in his final minutes, comes to him tonight, tomorrow, whenever. I just hope that it comes. So anyway, folks. Hi, Roland. Nice to see you. Hi, Darla. Yes, he's real. Thank you, Jerry. Anyway, folks, I like Scott. He's a good man, and that's what it takes. Good woman or good man. Anyway, how do I leave you all, folks? When I can, I have a nice young lady. This lady's from Brazil, but she is an American citizen who appreciates this nation. And rather than leave in a state of worrying about the pink-haired voices of fools, it's always good to hear from a sane person. So anyway, folks, as always, I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I want to thank Aaron, the Godfather, of Buy Me a Coffee. He stopped by, the first person of 20 26 and helped out with Buy Me a Coffee. It was nice to see you, Aaron. Thank you so much. And a good way to start off the year, along with Norm, who came by. So 2 people came by to see me and buy me a coffee. I have a link in the description. I just posted it at the 125 mark. So anyway, folks, if y'all want to help the channel out, I do appreciate it. Enjoy this young lady. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. You all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I want to talk about how the average American is starting to feel with the case in Minnesota and the daycare fraud. This is not just about money being stolen anymore. It's about a growing feeling that being a good citizen, being a hardworking person, paying your taxes, they think, well, I'm here, I'm playing by the rules, I am working hard, I'm providing for my family, I'm doing the hard work, and I'm the idiot. You see the memes online and we laugh, you know, like, oh, me on my way to work thinking that I should. Again, it is funny, but it's also deeply sad, because the next thing is, why am I even doing this? And that's the part that no one wants to talk about, because this kind of feeling shapes culture. I come from Brazil, as you know, and in Brazil we have this thing we call the Brazilian way, which is the idea that there's always a shortcut, there's always a loophole, a way to take advantage of a situation. And people think it comes out of nowhere. Oh, it's just the Brazilian way of living. No, this comes from years of Brazilian people being robbed and nothing being done with the thieves. So we now think that survival means cheating the system before it cheats you. Eventually, people stop believing that being honest is rewarded. When a society teaches its citizens that being honest makes you a loser, well, that's really dangerous. You don't just lose money, you lose trust, you lose dignity, you lose the culture that holds it all together. And once that's gone, it's really hard to get back.